Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today, let's do Chapter 10 for White Silk Lover. Tuesday, April 6th, 5 p.m., Kobe. Of course I sent the link about my interview to Kelly and Conrad. Of course I showed it to the guys at my work and my gym. Tuesday was an arms day with a little cardio. I spent 30 minutes on various curls, 30 minutes on the treadmill, or elliptical, or bike, whichever was available. Today, it was the elliptical. After I was done, I went to the scale. I know you aren't supposed to weigh yourself every day, but I do. I figured it was like a diabetic and their meter. You have to check and record. With several pieces of graph paper, I've made a chart on the wall at my apartment, and though the line wobbled up and down, it was a general downward trend. 2 years of my life are on that chart, plus all kinds of random information like phone numbers, bits of songs, a couple of grocery lists, and Sterling's concert schedule for last year and this year. I've even written Tomas's number on it, but only his initials are by it. I had to circle his name with a heart. Tacked next to it is the song Tomas helped me with. Or it was, but I've brought it with me to Diggeries. I'm obsessive about a tuned piano. For free soft drinks, I kept Charlie's piano tuned. I have my own tuning keys and tuning forks. There's nothing more frustrating than singing to an out-of-tune instrument. Thinking of home always brought back the old despair. My tuning forks and key were some of the few things that I salvaged. With a quick run of my fingers across the keys, I listened to the notes. The old girl has stayed in tune pretty well since the last time, except the G key just below middle C. It always required a little adjustment. It only took a minute before I'm happy. The piano at college drove me crazy, and one of these days I'll sneak in an hour early and tune it. Charlie brought me a diet drink with a lime. We chatted, and I started with scales. Boring scales. It's a great warm-up exercise, if nothing else. Of course, I vocalized. No one's here this early, which is why I come in. An hour practice on most days. Not on Wednesdays, though. I played a few classical pieces for one of my classes, then a few of Sterling's songs, and before I know it, I played a couple of old favorites. On a whim, I pulled out the song I've been working on, with the notes Tomas gave me. On a piano, I can get the feel for it like I never could on a keyboard. I love keyboards, but I love a good old-fashioned ivory keyboard more. I'll need Tomas's help on the chorus and the third verse. I pulled out another piece I've been practicing, Arabesque No. 1 by Debussy. Not my usual style. I need it for the recital at the end of the semester. There's this one part that no matter how much I practice, my left hand's fingers won't work through it. It doesn't look hard. It shouldn't be hard. But my fingers trip over each other. A few people have come into the club. It must be getting late. Still, Charlie hasn't said anything. So I run through the piece from the beginning. Same problem. And I run through it again. My fingers on my left hand start to cramp. And someone clapped. It's Kelly. You're getting better. Stretching the creaks out of my back, I leaned my hands on the piano to stretch my fingers. That felt good, especially with my left hand. I checked my phone. Practice lasted nearly 2 hours today. Hey, Kelly, what are you doing here? It only took a few seconds to pack my backpack and head to where she sat. My left hand ached. I've worked it harder than I thought. I should get an ice bag from Charlie. Tomas came by my work. Said he needed to see us both, Kelly said. That made me smile. It's been, 3 days since I've seen him? Tomas is back? Today? But Sterling has a concert tomorrow night in Albuquerque. We've been chatting, Kelly said, waiting for you to finish. He's here? Right now? I am ashamed to admit, but I giggled. Here? I set my backpack on the table and scanned the room. Tomas was at the bar with some other guy getting drinks for all 4 of us. black Nirvana t-shirt, Levi 505s, and windblown hair. He is so much better looking than Sterling. You better sit down before you embarrass me, Kelly said, and used her foot to kick out the chair next to me. It's a good thing you have me watching out for you. Close your mouth before you drool all over yourself. I do. That is, close my mouth, not drool. But not before Tomas saw me. You're hopeless, Kelly said. Carrying the drinks, Tomas walked over, but he didn't smile. His friend set a couple of drinks down and pulled up a chair next to the laptop. Tomas set the other drinks down, gave a small smile, but it vanished. That sounded really good up there. It must be like weightlifting for fingers. You did it the other night, I said. Not like that. Tomas opened up his laptop, switched screens. He glanced at the other guy. This is Sam, Sterling's drummer. Your brother is his drummer? I know my eyes get wide and I'm geeking out. What happened to Joy and Albert? Kelly asked. Sam glanced at Tomas, then at Kelly. Albert's driving Sterling somewhere, and Joey's riding along. The reason I'm here, Tomas broke in. I need to ask you something important. It must be important. Isn't it an 8-hour drive from Albuquerque? I asked. Tomas gave a slight grin. Not as Sam drives. Good thing we flew. I'm not that slow, Sam said. Did something happen? I said. Is that why you're here? Did Sterling overhear our conversation and you really did get fired? No, Tomas said, and slid the laptop to face us. I didn't understand the headline for a moment. I reread it. The Hidden Side of Sterling Lock. The Importance of 234. My heart stopped, but not in a good way. I inhaled, exhaled. Kelly grabbed my arm. The article was about the significance of the 234 tattoo. It quoted Psalm 23, the 4th verse. I meant to look it up, but hadn't gotten around to it. This was why Tomas came back? My hands chilled, and it wasn't from the iced drink. Sterling must think I betrayed him, and so must Tomas. The same snake-like feeling of dread crept up my spine as it had only once before. It was happening again, and just like before, I was about to lose everything important. Tomas was about to walk away. The nights of endless talking, our kiss, the connection, it was over before it even begun. I started to hyperventilate. God help me. It was happening again. Don't cry. Don't make a fool of yourself. My shoulders shuddered and my leg wouldn't stop shaking. My hands froze. Dear God, dear God, dear God, not again. I'm about to lose Tomas. I reread the article. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Please. I would never tell something like this. Kelly was calmer. We wouldn't know how to do something like this, or who to tell. This time, my hand shook. It was hard enough surviving the first time I lost it all. Oh, Lord, please, not again. I screwed up my face trying to keep from showing emotion, but I failed. Tell Sterling I wouldn't do this. We wouldn't do this. The most incredible week of my life was over. Tomas and Sterling wouldn't want to have anything to do with me. Somehow, I had to prove my innocence. I unlocked my phone as something warm dribbled down my cheek. I wiped it away. Look at my call log. Except for you guys, I haven't called anyone. I slid the phone over to them. It had the picture of me and Tomas on the screen. Settle down. It's okay, Tomas said. Sam hid a smirk. I pulled the laptop from my backpack, opened it, and went straight to email. Look at my log. Nothing. I didn't do this. You heard everything I said to Monica. I didn't do this. I swear. We didn't say anything. Another something warm dribbled down my cheek. I promise. It's okay. Thomas got up from his chair, walked to my seat, and put his arms around me. What hurt more? Thinking I had told one of Sterling's secrets, or losing Tomas? I bit my lip. Losing Tomas. He was the first person I had spent the entire night talking to. Tomas was the first person, other than Kelly and Conrad, who bothered to think of me as a person. The pain was like that night back in high school. The first time I lost everything. I didn't do it. The door was open. Somebody must have been outside, Kelly said. It was our secret, I said as I closed my eyes. I forced myself to calm down. It was something we knew that no one else even guessed, and it made that night a little more special. I'm sorry if something we did or said made you think we told, but we didn't. What can I do to prove it to you? Taking my chin and turning my head so I had to look at him, Tomas gave a small, sad smile that barely lifted the edges of his lips. I'm so sorry. When they told us, I didn't want to believe it was you, but I had to hear you both say it. Then you believe us? Kelly said. Her mouth scowled and brows furrowed, because Kobe does not handle shock well. Neither do I. I'm sorry, Tomas said, letting me go. He left a hand on my shoulder. I felt the same way Kobe did when I realized it. I have a problem, and I don't know what to do about it. What's that? I asked. Sam leaned forward, placing his elbows on the table. For most of this tour, little things like guitar picks and sheet music have gone missing. Some things have been leaked to the press. This is one example. Not just little things. My mesh shirt from Thursday's show is missing as well, Tomas said. Sitting up, Kelly glared at Tomas, making a slicing motion across her neck. Her voice chilled. Kobe, you said that you left a paper here the other night. Why don't you see if our waiter is here? It was Greg, I think. Why don't you get us all drinks, too? Tuesday, April 6th, 7 p.m. Tomas. Kelly, Sam, and I waited for Kobe to leave before Kelly spoke, her tone dark and disapproving. You need to be more careful, Mr. Backup Singer. You know, Sam said. The piano on the stage reminded me of all the fun from last week. I think I had just destroyed Kobe. She heard me sing and figured it out. You're right, Kelly. I have to be more careful. But the last few months have me on edge. I hate my life. I hate pretending to be someone else. But I am doubting everyone now. Except for Sam, I don't know who I can trust. I don't know you and Kobe very well, but I trust you more than some of the people I work with. Is Kobe bipolar? Sam sneered, switching from normal to freak out in 2 seconds flat. Sam just said the wrong thing. I swear Kelly's eyes flashed fire, and she sat up straighter. Sam, don't be rude. You don't know anything about Kobe. He was homeless, lived on the streets, and somehow he pulled his life together and is putting himself through college. You have your millions, your designer clothes, and fancy cars. What does he have? A bus pass and a used keyboard. You accuse him of betraying the one person that helped him through some pretty tough times. How do you think he would react? So yeah, he can get overly emotional sometimes about the strangest things. After what he's dealt with, he's entitled. Millions. That's a laugh. I'm going to get a real drink. Sam scowled and went to the bar. Kobe worships Sterling. In other words, me. I really screwed up tonight. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Kobe's alone? What happened to his family? Kelly relaxed a little. I don't know. He's never talked about them. He mentioned a brother once, but nothing else. Tuesday, April 6th, 7 p.m. Kobe. It didn't fool me. Kelly wanted me out of the way for some reason. It also gave me a chance to flee to the restroom. No matter what I do, I can't escape that horrible night. The night that destroyed my life. It only took seconds to escape the others. Fortunately, the restroom was empty. It's a small room with a toilet, a sink, and a garbage can. It always smelled like bleach. I locked the restroom door, sat on the floor, and quietly sobbed. Not again. It took so long to work my way back. No matter how much I work and go to school and take the bus and practice at Diggeries, life always defeated me. If Charlie didn't let me play for tips, I'd have no finances. Everything I own is thrift store or secondhand or hand-me-down, so why is a beautiful guy like Tomas even interested in me? How did a millionaire like Sterling even notice me? Why would he even sing to me? I can't hide here forever. Like it or not, I have to face Tomas. I washed my face and pretended none of this hurts.